Hi, I'm Carissa, and I'm interning in a 3 to 5-year-old classroom at Franklin at Brimhall Elementary School. You can see from this slide that slightly more books have male characters than female characters. Also, a significant number of books have non-human characters. However, there was a great deal of overlap, and most of the books had both male and female characters. While the number of books with male characters and those with female characters is almost the same, there are a little less than half as many books with female main characters than there are books with male main characters. The books in the classroom were racially diverse, with no race as a majority, although the white race had more than any other single race. Of all the books with human main characters, 8 of them had white main characters, and 1 of them had Native American main characters. Here is the only book with non-white main characters, and it is specifically about Native American cultural practices. Beside that book, and an African folktale, only one was specifically set outside of the United States, and that was the book The World We Live In. I want to take a minute to talk about this book. It covers a wide variety of topics and was the only book in the library set in Central America, South America, Asia, Europe, Oceania, or North America outside of the United States. It had sections in all of those places, and it was the only one that was in any of those places besides the Native American book and the African book. Here are some pages from that book. This book has lots of great content and talks about similarities and differences between cultures around the world. Of course, all of my students live in the US, so this is a great window book. You can see it says, "Why do so many people eat rice?" talking about similarities, and "Why do people around the world dress differently?" It has lots of pictures and visual aids. The book is full of maps and photographs and drawings. It goes into the historical context. It's awesome. So all of the books that have religion in them are the same books that were not set in the United States: the Native American Sign Language book, The World We Live In, and Anansi the Spider, the African folktale. Only about half of the books had specified settings. Many were just on white or solid-colored backgrounds, but of those that did, the majority were set in rural areas. 18 of the books had families in them, and I found it very interesting that none of the family structures in the book were just mother, father, and 2 kids. There were lots of other kinds of families, like single mom and kids, mom and dad with more than 2 kids, just dad and kids, and extended families. All of the books were in English except for one, called My Hands on My Head, which is full of rhymes that use both English and Spanish. Like this one says, "My hands are on my nose, que está aquí. This is my nariz, my mamacita." So it's not in English or Spanish, it's both in the same sentences together. So here are my classroom demographics. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get as much information on my students as I would have liked to, but I do have information on their gender, race, local settings, and country of origin. My class is racially diverse, and the percents are very similar to the percents of the specific race characters in the library. Over 3/4 of the class is female, so the somewhat male-heavy library functions more as a window than as a mirror for this class. All of my students live in the suburbs, but most of the books are set in rural areas, so these books are a window into rural life. All of my students live in the US, of course, so the main window book about larger cultures is the book The World We Live In.